So if you have some wall space, it's just an option to make the pose that we're going to go into. We're going to play with some of the triangles and hold them in a static way. So a wall, and also the option to have a chair with you with your triangles. Sometimes it helps to have some support. So I'm going to snag my little stool. So if you're not using the wall, you may want to use a stool. You may want to play with this, and as the poses start to open up, you'll understand what I mean. So hope everybody is having a wonderful week. Being kind to yourselves. We'll continue that kindness with some of our yoga practice. And I'd like to begin in child's pose, please. So make your way to your mat in your favorite child's pose. Perhaps that's arms out in front of you. Perhaps that is arms alongside of your body. Some of you may feel that you need your feet on something to help with any of the cramping that can happen. That's an option. I don't know if everybody knows that. Just kind of place that under there. The knees are wide. We're going to let our belly fall between the thighs. So Buddha belly. It's a reflection time. Maybe you put something in the chat box. I was inquiring about intentions for the class. Sort of taking a break from intention cards to cultivate our own at this unique time that we're still wandering through. So what wanderings have you come across today? This is the time to process them through your body. So whatever chi or energy you acquired from your day can be processed through. Begin to tune in deeper into the breath, more awareness of your breath. This is a key component in organizing the energy, putting the energy in motion through your body, processing the stress. And picture the breath all the way around 360 degrees. So it comes down through the trachea, fills the lungs, and expands all directions. A few more deep breaths right here. So kind of a yin flow class again tonight. For at least the first portion, and then we'll take it down and really slow it down for the last portion of the class. And during the entire class, having the Ujjayai recognition that the breath is singing to you. The lips are sealed, but the breath is singing. And of course, sealed is optional. You know, breathing through the mouth is quite functional in its own way too. The nose is optimal. You can do both. but it's singing an ah on the inhale and an O on the exhale. We're going to come up into from child's pose into tabletop and practice some of that Ujjayai that I'm talking about. So if you're able to seal the lips as you inhale, as if you're saying ah, but the mouth is closed. And as if you're saying oh, go into the cat. So the breath is just gently singing to you. And I'm going to do it through my mouth to let you know that it is the same, but maybe a little more audible with the mouth. So you might do it a few times with the mouth open, ah, oh, and then close the mouth and still feel the space in the throat. Pulling the perineum up, so the space in the pelvic floor engaged, as well as the navel. You always hear me talking about the bandhas. It's always the same, in case you forgot. We're going to translate this now into a balanced pose. So first finding balance with your right arm extended forward and your left leg extended back. So looking something like this, opposite sides. Just find a balance point before we start moving. And your gaze is at the mat rather than up in front of you. So let the neck be long. Bandhas in, and then extend. Now we look up, arch the back. Exhale, round, and the elbow meets the knee. Inhale, ah. Exhale, O. Let it be smooth. Be sure that hand is under your shoulder, your knee is under your hip joint, so you're like a stabilized being here. Really pull yourself together and then extend far beyond your fingertips and toes. And I'll hang out right here. Option to stay balanced once again, or bend at the knee, bend your arm back, and you've got this little back bend thing for fun. Smiling. And push that hand into the foot. Foot pushes the hand. You'll get a little more height just for fun. Okay. Keeping that left leg balanced. Yep. Placing the right hand down. Pan out to the left. And now you can ground that left foot. You can also keep it lifted. I'm going to ground for a moment here to establish balance. Hand is going to be stacked under the shoulder, so arms stacked. And you can bring that bicep to your ear, making a nice long line here. Challenging the balance, look up at the ceiling. Oh, yeah, you should be shaking. You should be. That's all the little muscles going here, there, here, there, here, there, here, there. Here, there, not there. Oops. Then we train them to know where center of gravity is. And then taking that back to the mat and into child's pose for a nice rest. Bring your wrists in the air, circle them around. Release tension in the fingers and the palms of the hands. You always want to shift that weight. If you're ever pressing deeply into only the wrist, shift it into the thumb and the index finger more. Couple more breaths. Come back to center. finding the Ujjayai. And release that practice, let it go, and we begin again on the other side. Blank slate. So first, it's a tabletop that we extend left hand, right leg. We're going to check to see that the joints are stacked, gates are in, neck is long, and then lengthen your bones out from one another. Remember not to cram into the wrist too much. I'll tell you there's a little, you can place your wrist, oh that's a little too tall, slightly on a, that's worse. Extending, looking up. Exhale, drawing the knee to elbow. So you can place your hand, your wrist, on just a slightly lifted blanket. I was putting the fingers and I realized that was the opposite. Clearly too much, but if you're cramming into the wrist. Inhale, lengthening up. Squeeze and make yourself very small. It's okay to get frustrated. Smile through it. Laugh through it. Ha ha ha. Isn't that funny that the body is losing its little balance here? And then stay right here or bend. Reach and find that foot. This is a great shoulder opener. Nice for the left lung. And as you push the foot into the hand, it'll get you even greater expansion. So we're going to keep the right leg lifted until we pan out to the right, and then you can take a moment to have balance. Stay right here. If this is challenging enough for you, draw your navel back, perineum back in and up, and stay right here, or give a lift. And if you dorsiflex your foot, the right foot, it engages the thigh muscles and the calf muscles, so it gives a sense of more stability. So you can do that. Bicep to ear. Find your Ujjayai here. Keep breathing and look up, a little extra to the challenge. Unhinge your jaw. And then as you release nice and gracefully, back to the child's pose where we reinstate balance, calmness of mind and body. And you can circle the wrists as well here. And coming from child's pose, tuck the toes and sit on your heels. So we're going to come into a squat. And the heels are in, toes are out. Can be a nice place for you. You can use your elbows to open up those knees, or come a little taller just to, you can even widen. If your heels aren't down, you can widen them. Just several options here. You can also use a chair.
And we're going to press up into standing pose. So squeeze the glutes, come on up, and we'll adjust the camera lens. All right, so coming against your wall, wherever your wall is, and just be mindful again, socks need to have grippies on them, and I would recommend having your mat come with you. It's just traction is all good. So you're not going to be right up against the wall because there's too much flesh that's going to create some barrier. So you're going to be, I don't know, 4 or 6 inches or so. And this is triangle work or triangle movements. And so with a wide stance, I'm going to say a lot wider than your hips. You want to think of something that's not going to be too taxing on the knee. So when you get into your triangle, you can make adjustments. So this is going to be right foot first, and I'm going to mirror you. So the right foot turns out, is right up against the wall or parallel to the wall, the opposite foot. And this opposite foot, you're really pressing into the blade. So there's this sense of opposite traction. The legs are engaged. And as the arms come out against the wall, and again, you don't need a wall, but it's nice, you're going to reach towards the right side and keep hinging until it feels like you've gone as far as you can, and you'll use the wall to make your support. Now, I do have a chair. I want to show you if you're doing this very simply, you'll have your hand on the chair rather than on the leg. You can also use blocks and so forth. You can also go on a forearm. This will even take you deeper without having to go all the way to the floor. Now, if you've gone against the wall, this is why I like the wall. Bring your shoulders to come back against the wall. And so a lot of times our triangles get to where we're folding forward and we're hunched over a little bit too much. But this way, shoulders. Now how about the hips? See if both hips can get to the wall a little more. And then begin to press down into your feet and use the wall. Very slowly come back to center. And we're going to switch the feet, switch the chair. So now the right toes stay perpendicular to the wall, and that blade is really pressing down these toes of the left foot, going the other way, arms open, and we're going to reach first. Pop, pop, pop. Great. Feels so good in the hips. And then finding stability and anchoring the torso, like the shoulders. And it's not that you have to have both hips touching the wall or both shoulders. Just the idea that you're rotating and feeling the rotation of the triangle in the torso. I use my leg for this one. So this hip bone here is moving back. It's moving back. Rather than having it be all the way forward, it's just slightly different sensation here. All right, and then soften that knee. Begin to inch your way back. Both toes facing the same direction, and we'll take a nice forward fold all the way over. And I'm showing the option with the chair just so that if you are using a chair, you can probably figure it out for yourself anyway, but just in case you want to. And also the chair, besides being a nice setup so that you don't have to go all the way over, especially if anybody is having some pressure in the chest, or going over with the head below the heart is a no-no for you. Chair is great for that, but it's also good for opening up the shoulders And any of these variations has got its benefits, so pick something you like for today. Soften the knees, soften the shoulders and the jaw. This is our inversion, so we're going to let the cellular fluid gurgle around in opposite to gravity. Again, don't lock those knees. And find your Ujjayai, inhaling on the Ah, exhaling O. And then very slowly coming up, rounding the spine. Felt like I was going to fall forward too close to the wall. And we'll do that series again with triangle and adding a little bit of reverse triangle as well. So arms out to the side, right foot turns parallel to the wall, reaching and then tilting. And then anchoring, using the wall as a template. And we're going to fold over now. So folding over that right leg all the way, take a look at it and adjust so that now both your hips are facing the same direction. Let's just hang out with our chin to shin. Again, don't lock any joints here. And then we reverse triangle. So the right hand is going to stay either on the floor or the block. I'm going to show you on the chair. And the left arm is going to reach up. So we're revolving the triangle. So if you're on a chair, basically this, or if you're going to stay to the wall. And then there we are, rotating. You're getting the shoulders stacking. This is template is a great way to realize the twist. So the right hip is moving forward and the left hip is moving back. That's the revolve triangle motivation or movement in the hips. No joints are locked. Someday this will stay on, I guess. And then back to folding over that front leg. We're going to revolve out of it the way we got into it. Sorry if this is getting loud in the microphone. And then we go back into the triangle. And then softening that front knee brings you back to center. Okay, let's let the blood flow. Take your time. We're not going to go into the next for just a moment. Simply to allow the blood and the circulation to do the thing. Okay, so left foot now rotates parallel to the wall. We reach left. Tilt when you're ready. And there's a couple things you can do. You can rotate so that your palm is touching or the back of your hand is touching the wall. You might want to do a few here. It's kind of interesting. You can rotate that arm in the socket. You should have done that on the other side too. We'll do something.
template to the wall, so hips and shoulders. Nice stretch, great for the organs of the abdominals, kidneys. So we're gonna begin to bend over and go into the forward pyramid pose. So the hips now align in the same direction. You might make adjustments with that back foot to make that happen, chin to shin. Bandhas in, Ujjayai engaged, bringing you present. And then from this forward fold, the right hip is moving back, left hip moving forward, and placing the left hand either on a block, keep it on the floor. I'm going to bring my chair back and rotate towards the right, to the left, sorry. Right hand on the chair, left arm in the air. So I am mirroring you, so got a little turned around there. And you're working that belly button towards the wall. Yeah, that wall. More to the wall, less to the floor. And I do like a chair. Even if you are a seasoned triangulist, the chair really gets you up so that your torso can rotate. And cervical spine in on it as well. Coming to reverse out of it, folding forward, pyramid pose. From pyramid, we go back into triangle and soft that front knee, hinging back to standing. And I'd like to do another forward fold. If you did have that chair, I'm going to use the chair this time. Nice wide open V, and you're pressing into the blades of the feet. This is an activation of the arches in the feet. And with your arms on a chair, you can dangle your head below and get a nice shoulder stretch here. So whatever options you have available to you is fine. Find your Ujjayai and engage your bandhas. And releasing from the wide-legged triangle, heel toe your feet back. Now we go into the squat. And this is the get low squat.
So the shoulders nestle in between the knees. You can do those prayer hands again, great for the wrists. Or you can rotate the hands underneath and just drip over whatever contortionist pose you're working on now. And the wall's available, so you could also just be squatting against the wall. Again, a chair is a perfect option as well. And from the squat, we're going to take, let's do the right leg first. We're going to take the right leg out. Just a nice groin stretch here. Now you have the option to come all the way down and have a seat. Okay. So you can hug that knee in. The heel is quite close to the groin. You could also maneuver this by going down and then pulling the leg in. So however you got here is fine. And we're going to flex the toes of the right leg towards you. So I don't want to do too much at once, so I guess we'll wait. All right, coming back up, back into the squat and switch. And you can stay right here with your hands forward and hang out. But if you'd like to sit, and then you're set up. Oops, okay, there we go. All right, back up into the squat. And then both knees underneath you, please, and sitting on the tops of your feet. And just a little bit with the neck. And then we'll take it down to the mat. And so bringing one ear to the shoulder, let's say the right ear to the right shoulder. And we're going to bring the right arm. So same arm, same way that you're leaning. Right arm is going to come right up the back with the hand between the shoulder blades. In fact, let's do both arms. You can either do prayer up or prayer fingertips pointing up or fingertips pointing down. So the right hand's now going to gather a little bit of tension to that arm, to the head with the arm. And then nodding yes here. I got something caught on my ear. And begin to nod no. Bringing that arm back behind into that reverse prayer to the other side. This opens the chest, also opens the wrists and the back, and of course the neck, parts of the cervical spine. If you need to come off of your feet and sit a different way. Just make that option for yourself. And we'll add now the weight to the left side and begin that yes and no patterns here. So first yes. And then no. Keeping the hands back, still behind. We're going to jut the head forward and draw it back. So just a few of these, forward and chin in, chin forward, back. You can even add the circles, so it's the dipping your beak and drinking your water. And then reversing that, we're the turtle that comes out of the shell and draws back in. So come out of your shell and pull in. And releasing. Nice soft neck on the shoulder. So coming into onto your back again, please, and hug your knees into your body. Moving gently away from the wall. So as you hug your knees in, you can have the option of drawing your neck up to your knees as well. And then lowering the neck, taking both legs over to the right side. We're going to first start out with a knee down twist. So just like we were using the template of the wall to open the shoulders in the triangle, we're using the template of the floor to open the shoulders to your mat. And then stay here if it feels like just the right thing to do. Some days you're not going to want to do as much. I did make this a little more of a Yin Flow class, so there's a little more going on. Top leg, your left leg, is going to shoot out forward. So just straighten it right where it is, unhinge the knee, and then reach behind with your left hand. Start trying to find and scoop down to reach that right foot for cat catching its tail. So I'm catching my foot, or you can get close enough to the foot. It does not need to actually make contact. It's just adding a slight back bend to your twist. Releasing the back foot now. Tucking the top leg, coming back into the twist. And then gently back into neutral spine. And I like to swing my knees side to side to release any tension in the vertebra. Knees back in, hug in, draw your neck to your, this is also a really great neck stretch. So, and we'll place the knees over to the left side. Using the template of the floor. And then when you're ready, the top leg will extend while the bottom leg and the right arm make contact, cat catching its tail. Releasing the tail, gathering the top leg back into alignment, and then when you're ready, into alignment with the floor, and swing the knees. So some reclined pigeon poses, and I'd like to go back to the wall for these since we cleared out a space anyway for the wall. And of course you can do this just on your mat, and I'll show you where. So if you're at the wall, lying down, bring your feet, and in this case you can get right up to the wall. That's groovy. So hips up to the wall, and I'll show you what we're going to do with that. So typically we would be away from the wall for the reclined pigeon, but this is going to make it a little bit more a deeper pose. So placing your right ankle over the left knee, that straight leg. So we want the ankle right over the knee, above the knee, and flexing that foot.
And then begin to bend the left knee and place the foot on the wall. So you don't want your hips lifting up, and you don't need to wiggle away from the wall, because maybe that's just enough with just the left foot. But as the pose melts, you can begin to slide that foot a little closer and a little closer, and so you really get a lot more than if you were away from the wall. So of course, this can be done threading the needle and holding the leg into your body if you're not using your wall. So option to place your hand on the shin or the thigh and push the right thigh away from you. Be sure to flex this right foot so we know alignment is being honored. Returning to Ujjayai breath, inhaling Ah, exhaling O. And the final 5 breaths right here. And then straightening the left leg first to come out of the pose. Now take the right leg, straighten out. Get some windshield wipers, maybe even bending the leg if that feels right. And then switching sides, both legs straight just to get anchored, and then bending the left ankle on top above the right knee, and then from here place the right foot, start there and see where you can go without having the hips lifting. Take it easy, take it in chapters. You can remember to flex this foot and then maybe press into the thigh and the shin towards the wall for a little while. final 5 breaths here. We're going to continue with the Ujjayai into the Shavasana. So either stretching out in traditional corpse pose, or since you're here by the wall, coming into legs up the wall. And Ujjayai, counting your breaths, is a great way of distracting you, getting caught up in any ruminating thoughts. So you would count your breaths up to 5, and then start back over, counting back at 1. This keeps you present, just as a manner of practicing clarity, practicing concentration, keeping things simple. And sink your legs into your chest and roll gently over to your side. It's a reminder that the practice is so that you can then be able to incorporate yoga into regular daily life, whatever that means to you, whether it's anchoring more to your breath and recognizing your emotions more, perhaps having more balance, and so practicing your balance poses if that's something that is of value, that portion of the yoga. So all of this now is to be practiced in your regular life until we meet again next week. So if you are available to unmute and unveil yourselves in your videos, if you would like to do that, bringing your hands at your heart center.
And we'll chant an Om, that vibratory essence that calms the body. It also stimulates the parasympathetic nerve bundle, the vagus nerve bundle that runs through the vocal cords down to the heart and into the guts and all that area that gets stimulated through the Om. It's very powerful. So we'll allow that to be soothing, allowing your breath to rise inside. Namaste, everybody.
Namaste.
Have a beautiful rest of the weekend and week, and keep in touch. Qigong this Saturday at 9 a.m. Show up, pay as you go, and otherwise I'll see you on Tuesday. And a week from now is Thanksgiving, so we won't have class that day, but maybe a little special video for some kind of turkey flow. I don't know. Still working.
Bye.
Good night. Have a nice night, and hope to
see you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.
Have a beautiful night.